What's up, everyone? How you guys doing during this virus apocalypse, man? Today we're going to be talking about motorcycle clubs, the pros and cons of joining one. But first, let's roll that intro. We're going to be talking about motorcycle clubs today. I get a lot of people that ask, you're always pushing RCs. That's great, but why don't you give us some pros and cons of motorcycle clubs? I have to say, there's a lot more pros than there are cons. But let's start with the cons. It all depends on the club you want to join. Meaning, you got your 1%ers, you got your 99%ers, you just got your fun riding club type of deals that I always talk about. The 99% ones, it's not so bad. And what I mean by that is money. 1% clubs, you better have some cash on you, man. You're talking dues. Now, a lot of people say, well, dudes can't be that much in a 1% club. Yeah, they are. And the reason being is most legitimate I'm talking about now, motorcycle clubs that are 1%ers have clubhouses. And the reason why it's so important, even with 99%ers that have clubhouses, is because it's telling everybody you made roots. You're not going anywhere. You're serious about what you're doing. So a clubhouse, because I usually talk about clubs that come from other places. They never have a clubhouse, blah, blah, blah. It's mostly in the backyard type of deal, which if that's their choice, it's their choice. But having a clubhouse is one of the biggest things about a club. It costs money to run a motorcycle clubhouse. You're talking rent, you're talking insurance. If you're smart, you better get insurance. Most people, they don't rent. Most of the time it's set up in a trust where there's an actual mortgage on the clubhouse. Yes, there's a lot of people that do rent. That I kind of consider a dangerous type of deal, renting, especially with the village or a city. They'll always try zoning laws on you. If they don't like you, they'll zone you out, and what they'll do is they'll put pressure on the landlord to get rid of you, or they'll start fining the landlord. So buying them is usually the way a lot of clubs go. And again, you got your bills you got to pay, man. It's just like any other building. The rent or the mortgage, you got freaking electric, heat, the insurance, and that's a lot of freaking money depending on how many guys are in the club. Usually it's broken up between, equally among all the members of how much you're going to pay. And I know in the larger cities, man, you're talking about some coin. It might be easier in rural areas or, states that ain't as expensive as, say, New York, Illinois, California, East Coast. A lot on the West Coast, it might not be as expensive, but it's not unheard of. $2,000 just for a mortgage on a building for a clubhouse. Now you only got maybe 10 guys at the most. You're looking at some dues right there just in mortgage. That's not including the lights and electric and all that stuff. That's where the bar and the support stuff come into play to help a club out. It's not that they're out there with their, the hands out. They're earning their money by freaking having parties and, selling tickets, support wear, that kind of stuff. Another pro about being in a club is it's going to be one of the, it depends again which club you're in, it's going to be one of the best experiences you ever have. I was talking about the negative. I'll go back and forth. But it's going to be a great experience. There's nothing better. If you do it the right way, you hang around, you prospect, because then you earn your patch from the prospects. It makes you, really appreciate what you're becoming involved in. And there's nothing like riding deuce down the freaking road with a bunch of guys with the same patch, the same way of thinking. The parties, of course the parties, again, it depends on the club, but I know a lot of clubs that can freaking party, man. And then the road trips. I think the best thing that has to be is the road trips with the clubs. Going cross country, riding, either you stay in a motel or you're staying, a campground. It don't matter because it seems like the party lasts all night long. So that's another pro for it. And then, there's a little reputation that comes along with it. A little, how can I say it, fear from the general citizenry. So it makes you kind of feel like, this rocks. But, ultimately, if it's the right club, it's the brotherhood. And there's a lot of clubs that are hardcore on brotherhood and not as much into the politics. And I believe that's a negative, is once everybody's patched in a club, they're always worried about officers' positions. They're always worried about what position they're going to hold within the club. But, it's human nature. It's human nature. People want to have some kind of power. Personally, I just like being a member. That's all I would want to be, is a member. Too much headaches with the officer crap, man. Too much headaches. Especially if you're in a support club or you're in a 1%er club. Boy, is the politics huge in them clubs. Not so much a littler one, and I think that's why littler clubs, they thrive. After that 5-year mark, they really thrive. They build up slow. The guys are real freaking close. The power ain't there to go to somebody's head. If you're going to join something, I'd say join a smaller club, man. Figure out what you're going to do. Hang around for at least 6 months to a year to get to know the people. And then, of course, you got your prospect period or your probate period, depending on which side of the fence you're on. And that really gives you a great, puts you in tune of how that club's going to go for you. And it also gets the club to know you. But the biggest negatives, I would have to say, is the money and politics. And the politics could be external, or most of the time it's internal. People, again, just forget about what the purpose of the whole club is because they're too busy wanting that power trip, man. And, but you also get that from guys who just prospected, just got their patch. It's called patch power. They get these big, huge elephant balls after they get their patches, and they change totally. I've heard a lot about that kind of stuff, is when people change totally. So that's just a couple of things, man. I think if you find a club is really for you, you're going to enjoy the hell out of it, man. A lot of guys stick around 20, 30 years or go to the grave with a club, man, and that's awesome stuff. I think, why I talk about riding clubs all the time is because a lot of people, they just want to jump to 1% stuff. They don't want to find something that's right for them and something that they can handle. Because 1% clubs, man, you're talking about commitment right there. The official support clubs, you're looking at commitment right there. Where if you're in a mom and pop club, you're actually having fun. You don't have so much commitment. You're going out there riding with your buddies, the whole 9 yards. So I think that's why I talk about that all the time, is because people want to go buy a Harley or they want to buy their first bike. Next thing you want to know, they want to go to the big boys, and then they're left on the side of the road. The club's freaking wasted their time with them. Start small, work your way up, man. That's what I could say. But there's so much more positives than there are negatives with joining the club. I know a lot of people, they watch the biker news that we do, and they're like, man, I don't want to be a part of that kind of stuff. You just got to remember, man, that's just a small percentage of what happens in the club world, man. It's just a small percentage, and it's a small percentage of people that do it. So don't let the biker news shy you away, but I do suggest hanging around for a long time, getting to know the club, and making sure the club is good for you. There's other channels like Dragon, Big Cell, Dibber, that has a lot more on the protocols of clubs. I'm not getting into protocol stuff, that just ain't me. I'm just getting into the opinions that I have. So with that, don't forget to subscribe. Pass us around. Help us get our channel unthrottled, will you guys? Our channel is so unthrottled over on YouTube, it's pitiful. But don't forget, I will be canceling my appearance over on NCOM with this zombie virus going around. With my epilepsy and some underlying health issues, I cannot risk it. Talk to the doctor. And I asked him, hey, can I go to this thing? And he says, well, I wouldn't, not with what's going on with you. So I will still be doing other events. I'll be talking about that on Motorcycle Madhouse on Thursdays lives over on YouTube. So if you haven't checked that out, go check it out. It's at 7 o'clock. I list the events I'll be going to. Now they're going to be the later May ones. Hopefully the peak of this thing will be gone by then. And then in July. So with that, if you're seeing stuff popping up on the top, that's other videos we have. Make sure you hit it. With that, I'll talk to you guys later. Leave all your comments in the comment section. If you have a question or something you'd like to see on a video, let me know and I'll start doing it, because I like doing these ones right here. I like doing the production videos instead of just sitting in the damn freaking studio all day. Talk to you guys later.